Hey guys, welcome to another Don't Worry Wednesdays. I am your host today, Static P, and I'm here with the Beta Cat.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so today is our 10th episode of what are you laughing about?
Nothing.
Derek. Okay, I get it. You hate me and everything. It's fine. Just laugh at me while I'm doing this. Like I'm terrible at it.
Just so you guys know, we've been trying to record for like the past 10 minutes, but we keep messing up.
Literally, yeah. It's like 3, 2, 1, go, and there's something happens every time. So we're just gonna continue this time. Anyhow, this is a 10th episode, so congratulations, everybody, you did it.
That sounds so enthusiastic. You're like, yay, do you want a gold star, huh, Timmy? No, but seriously, guys, thank you so much for helping us hit 10 episodes together. We're a big, happy family, even though Ryan is not really expressing it very well.
No, it's all thanks to you guys.
He doesn't
we
have
wouldn't
any gold
have
stars
these.
to give out.
I have 2. That's it. You get one, Timmy, and the other one is up for everybody to fight about. No, yeah, it really wouldn't work without you guys. So we really appreciate it. This has honestly been going a lot better and farther than I expected. When we originally started the series, I kind of expected like 3 episodes, then they would die out to like nobody watching and not having anybody giving us comments. But instead, you guys have been very, very attentive and welcoming to the program, or whatever you want to call this show. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. So continuing on with the show, our first comment is from, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this. It's either Ebot or Ebit75. She says, "Hey, I've never really watched your stuff, but I've had a horrible night tonight. And I rely on overdosing painkillers to get through a lot of nights, no matter how against it I am. And I have a question, I suppose, or a few. What do you suggest to someone who'd kill themselves? When you can't sleep, what do you do? I have a few hobbies, but one, which is music, I can't do at night, which is when I'm most stressed because of noise, and the other is some games. But the communities on those seem to only be getting worse and worse. What's your tip to people who have followed the it gets better advice only to watch everything get worse with action, inaction, or any combination thereof? What would you do if you have no physical friends and your family refuses all forms of intimacy, but you really need to feel physically intimate with someone, especially if you neither have school or bars to utilize? I have plenty of friends I can feel close with online, but even roleplay works less and less each month. Love, someone who slowly realizes she has every single conceivable situation in her life and slightly hopes to maybe see the next Don't Worry Wednesdays. Heart. P.S. A cute girl with a soft voice on the show would take you far to balance both of your guys' rough voices. And you said that men talk a lot when women talk... that men talk little when women talk a lot, but in Western household situations, it's traditionally the opposite. So, sorry, I read the whole thing, but go at it, Derek. Tell me what you think.
Okay. So my take on what to tell someone who is receiving and gets better is that it does. It honestly really does. But you have to hang tight and stick with it. Right now, you may think this is the worst possible day. Tomorrow is going to be the worst possible day. Maybe the following day is the worst possible day. But they can also be the best possible day of your life, the most amazing day of your life, but you won't know if you're not there to greet it, if you're not there to accept it, to celebrate it, and just live it. Now, whatever going on right now in your life, I'm sorry that it's happening, and we're going to do our best to help you through this, because no one should go through it alone, despite the fact you may feel that way. But you say that you're close with these people that you met offline, but it doesn't work exactly like a physical relationship, which is totally understandable. Sometimes you kind of need that human touch, even if it's just standing next to someone talking about your day, because you can see it. It's in front of you. It feels real. But you can't completely exclude online relationships from your life. My friend Ryan here, I've known this dude for about a year now, or maybe a little bit over. And I haven't met him in real life, never shook his hand physically or anything like that. But I consider him one of my really, really close friends because he's been there for me when I needed it. We have amazing conversations, both hilarious comedy skits to just talking about real deep stuff. And I consider him a really close friend despite the fact I never physically met him. Now, you can carry these same relationships despite knowing them physically or in the online world, because a friend is a friend no matter what. You know, maybe some down the line I will get to meet Ryan. That'd be super cool. And maybe sometime down the line you get to meet your friends from these communities online. But nonetheless, a friend is a friend to the very end. Now, you have these hobbies, which is great. I believe everyone should have a hobby despite whatever time they're going on in their life, because it promotes creativity, promotes stimulation in your brain, and it promotes an active lifestyle, be it, mentally or physically. You say you can't work on music at night because it's just too noisy. I would suggest using headphones if that's okay. I know it's not the same as working on speakers, how Ryan and myself do. And yeah, we get that. But if you can't do it at night with the speakers, then at least use your headphones. It may not be the same, but you can still do it. You got to do with what you got, and you got to make it work with what you have. Sometimes you can't have it all, but you can do with just a little bit and understand that you can do more later on. I don't know what's going on in your life, and I wish I can help you as best as I can. Just reading this it really hits home. And I want you to know that you will see the next Don't Worry Wednesday. I'm just not saying or telling you that you will. I just feel that you will, because you coming out to us, asking for this advice, asking for this help, that's a lot stronger words than you think you're giving. You came out of this bubble. You say you're having a horrible night, but if you came out tonight, or you came out to us, I really feel you got something going on. Now, you have these communities online, and I want you to actually share what you have with these people. Because if you don't have physical friends, or maybe you just cannot, then treat these online friends as physical friends. Now, that may sound entirely weird because you're not there with them, but the friendship is the same nonetheless. Treat them as such, because I can guarantee you things will change dramatically. Instead of treating them as two separate entities, they're just one and the same. Just because they're from different worlds doesn't mean they have to be separated that way. A friend is a friend, no matter what. I've said that already too many times, but it really is what it is. And I wouldn't even mention role playing, because you don't role play your friends. And that's all I got.
Thanks, Derek. That was beautiful, and took away everything I had to say. No, I took away a lot of everything I had to say. The only thing I could add on to that is, I guess I got a couple of different things to just expound upon. with the it gets better every day, it gets better advice. Part of that is not focusing upon what's going around you getting better, but who you are and how you receive or interpret or perceive the world to be can make the whole day better. Like, two people can go through the same thing the same day, and one person can call it like, man, I had the worst day ever, while the other one would say, yeah, today was fine. Some bad things happened, but it was still a great day. It's kind of like, just because the sun's outside today and it's not outside tomorrow doesn't change whether I have a good day or not. I remember there was a time in my life where I would tell myself, just because I wanted other people to believe me, and I ended up kind of becoming, actually end up believing myself in a way. See, I didn't want to look like to other people like I was a downer. So when people asked me, how's your day today? I would just, even though I didn't feel good, I was like, yeah, I'm having a great day today, And then eventually it came to the point where I was just telling myself that whenever I was feeling down. I'm like, yeah, all this crap happened, but, it's still a good day. I don't know why, but I don't have to feel bad, And then after doing that long enough, everything was better. Like, everything that was happening before was still happening, but because of the way I perceived it, because of the way that I looked at it, and didn't think that the bad stuff was that bad anymore, I was having a great day. And everything had to do with my attitude, not being affected by what was going around with me, but deciding how I was going to feel about the day. Deciding my attitude rather than having what's going on around me decide my attitude. It's kind of like emotions in general. Emotions are basically supposed to be how we react to things. But a lot of times we end up chasing those emotions and letting those emotions lead to us. But that's kind of flipped, because then it's like a dog chasing its tail. It's like, we are basically living our lives based on the reactions of what's going on around us, rather than deciding what we want our lives to be like and having the emotions come out of that. So the it gets better advice, while it doesn't necessarily work all the time, it does work if you can change how you perceive what's going on, or how you can decide how you feel. And like Derek said, it will get better. You just have to, because not every day is the same, so every day is obviously either going to be better or worse. But if you're only looking at what's going around you, you'll decide that it's a bad day every day, if that's what you think of it. But you can't think it's a great day every day. A lot of times I won't even remember the bad stuff that happened to me throughout the day. When I was a kid, I could remember every single bad thing that happened to me throughout the day. Now, because it hits me, and then it's out of my mind so quick, because I know that the bad things aren't going to help me in my life moving forward, I completely just get rid of them. And I don't even remember, I had a lot of bad things happen to me today, but I can't remember a single one of them. That happens to me a lot. So it will get better. But yeah, it takes a little bit of controlling how you see things, taking action in the mental stance rather than in a physical stance. Continuing past that, I liked your comment about having a girl on our show. I think that would be awesome as well, and I'd really like to see, what someone would have to say from their perspective as a girl, and also a nice soft voice would be nice as well. Only, unfortunately, the issue is that then the episodes would be probably a third longer. So they would just get really long. Instead of a half hour, it might be 45 minutes. Instead of 45 minutes, it'd be an hour and a half. I don't know. It could get pretty long though. So we're just going to keep it at 2 for now, I believe. And what else was there? Oh yeah, the music. You know, if you play an instrument, you might not be able to work at that at night. But like Derek said, if you wear headphones and you open up like a program on your computer that you can write music on, even if it's just crappy MIDI data, you know, you can feel the enjoyment of writing music by doing that with headphones. Even though it's not the same as playing an instrument, you still get something out of it. So I would give that a try if you don't already do that. And the last thing is about the physical friends. I do understand what you're saying with needing to feel physically intimate. Obviously, you've made it this far. I don't think the word need should be there. Maybe it's more like a want, because you're still alive. You don't necessarily need it in order to be alive like you are. But again, if you change your perception about it, maybe you can need it less or feel like you want it less. Although I would say it's important to have that sort of thing. And I'm sorry that your parents don't want to be affectionate in that way. Can't really help you other than if you said you don't have school or anything or bars or whatever, and it's weird to go out and meet people in the streets or something. I understand that, but for now, until those types of situations arise where you can meet people and be affectionate in that way, like Derek said, I think that the online friends should be enough. And yeah, role-playing, it can be fun, but I would, like Derek said, don't role-play with your friends. Be honest with them and be yourself. Be fun and be active with them. Put yourself out there and get out of your comfort zone with them. Doing that kind of stuff improves your friendships and makes them deeper. But role-playing is kind of, it is a form of entertainment, and you could role-play with friends that you have already been friends with, like if you like play Dungeons and Dragons and that sort of thing. It can be fun and entertaining, but you definitely do need that connection that's real before the role-playing, or even after, I mean, at any point in time, but the role-playing experience becomes even more amazing and cool when you know the people like on a really deep level, because then it's just friends having fun, and it feels more rich and more it touches you in a better way, I guess. So yeah, that's everything I'd have to say. Do you got anything else to add to that, Derek, or would you like to go on to the next topic?
I'm good.
All right. Would you like to read the next topic for me?
All right. So the next one we got is from Hitman For Hire. And they said, how about one on procrastination or motivation for those who lack of, including myself? And go ahead and take it away, Ryan.
All right. Procrastination and motivation. These are things that I have dealt with in my life for sure. My natural personality, I'm not sure if any of you know any personality terms. I'm phlegmatic, which means I'm people-oriented, but very reserved. I don't go out of my way to do anything. And so I'll wait till the last minute to do pretty much anything that needs to be done, naturally. However, eventually I started to get out of this phase by trying to practice the opposite. I realized that it was a problem for me with procrastination. And I was noticing other people around me who were not procrastinators, or they were before, but they no longer were. And it kind of inspired me to start to change myself in that way. And I remember looking at people who had different personalities and noticing things about them, like, oh, that person's not good with people at all. In fact, they're quite rude and bossy. But then I noticed they started to change, and they improved their people skills. And that made me realize, oh, wait, even though these personalities aren't all the same, we can learn from each other and learn from each other's personalities and actually adapt them into ourselves. So then I looked at the procrastination and I said, okay, So how do I fix this? And then I basically went on my way to start doing things like I should have been the whole time. And I noticed that did something immediately. It made me feel better about myself. Because no longer did I feel like I was betraying myself or letting myself down or doing what I knew I shouldn't have been doing. I noticed that, I had that self-esteem improvement just because I was deciding to do something I didn't want to do. But the fact that I did it made me feel good about myself. So procrastination, the only suggestion I basically have on that is that you try not to. And after a long period of doing that, you will no longer have procrastination issues. I don't have any at all anymore. In fact, people would think that I'm by nature some kind of workaholic or something. I'm always working on stuff and I'm always, getting things done. But that's totally not my nature. I'm not a task-oriented person, and I'm generally a procrastinator, but I no longer am. It's because you can train your mind and get over your issues and that sort of thing. You can change your habits, and you can grow as a person, and these things are very doable. As for motivation, motivation is an interesting thing because sometimes there are things you are passionate about, and sometimes we can't explain why we have those passions, or we know those passions came from a specific thing in our life or whatever. And those things that we are naturally motivated towards, and those things are good in many cases. If you're passionate about killing people, please stop that. But as for be motivated about things that we don't want to do, or even things we're passionate about but for some reason aren't feeling in the mood for it. I feel like there are many times when I don't feel like, I don't really want to do that today. Like even for writing music and that sort of thing, which is one of my passions. When I decide to just do it anyways, even against my own will, after I get into it, like I don't know, it doesn't even take long. I'll be like working on a song for like a minute, and I'll be like, oh yeah, and then I do this, and then I do that, and I realize, oh wait, I'm fine working on this now. I no longer need them like motivation to do it. I'm just doing it, and I feel fine doing it. There's no issue. So I think relying on getting yourself worked up to do something is a bad way of. It's not a good way to determine how you do things or what you do or why you do them. It's kind of conflicts with yourself, and it's just a bad way of really, it's a bad performance. I don't know. It's a bad way of using yourself, because you kind of like you're like, I'm only going to do it if I'm motivated, or you build yourself up to it. And really all you need to do is just do it. And then once you start doing it, you're generally, in most cases, you'll be like, oh, okay, I'm doing it now and I feel fine, and I'll just keep on doing it and there's no issues. I don't feel like I need to quit. You just feel okay with doing it. Or you'll even get into it. You're like, yeah, this is great. This is awesome. So yeah, that's my advice, and I would really like to see what Derek has to say about it.
Well, I don't have too much to add, but for procrastination, I was definitely one of those procrastinators. And what I did, or it's not more of what I did that started me off, it's what I realized when I took a step back and kind of looked at myself and those that surrounded me. And I figured that the position I was in, where I was just going out, having fun, working a job I didn't like, not getting anything done for my future self, it hit me that I need to stop messing around and start working towards a better future for myself. Now, this is what happened for me. It's different for everyone, as Ryan explained his side. But a good starting point is to surround yourself with very highly motivated people, or at least people who are working towards something, who are positive, who are helpful, who share their positivity with others. Because just being in their presence, just being around that positive energy makes you want to be like that. Makes you stop procrastinating and starts pushing you to work on that project that you've been holding off. As for motivation, it goes for the same exact thing. But to even raise the scale just a little bit, find something that you're extremely passionate about. Because that's all you need for motivation, really, to be passionate about what it is that you want to complete. Or if it's for a duty that you must get done, just know that the longer you put it off, just the bigger it's going to get, the more you're going to hate doing it. But when you're finished with it, it's done. It's done forever. Unless it's like a 2-piece project, then you got to work on the second part. Then don't come back to me and tell me I told you that. But all in all, as Ryan said, you just got to do it sometimes. And it's okay if you take a little bit longer than everyone else. Everyone has their own pace, but as long as you get it done, and to mainly just realize that you're doing it, which you have said that, if you're coming out asking these questions, then you most definitely realize and, have acknowledged that you have these situations in your life where you're trying to fix them or at least get better at them. So, pro tip, just hang out with people who are also trying to better themselves. Because if you're all in that collective group of just trying to be better, even if no one ever says they are, like even if it's just a secret that you keep within yourself, just watching someone get better kind of inspires you. I know for a lot of people that doesn't, it might do the exact opposite. You're just going to be wondering, man, why can't I be like Timmy over there? He's making really good hamburgers and I can't even make a hamburger bun. And then everyone's going to look at you like, cuz that requires you folding dough. For hamburgers, you just punch a cow in the face.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, cooking 101, how to make hamburgers, just punch a cow in the face.
Fantastic.
But yeah, and all in all, just build a future for yourself. Look ahead and say, if I keep doing what I'm doing right now, am I going to get to where I want to be? The answer could be yes, but that could be a yes plus 20 years. So, kind of go off that realization. And that's all I got.
That was great. 2 things that I thought of when you were saying that. Totally agree with the fact that you have to surround yourself with people who are improving. So true. That really does help. And if you don't know anybody like that, then maybe look for some people, maybe get some new friends. You don't have to ditch your old ones, but look around. Or somehow inspire your friends by being that person. And the other thing was, with a lot of times procrastination is more so fueled by wanting to do something else. Like, oh, I'd rather go entertain myself with something. And you can see in a past episode, I don't remember which one, but we talked about peace and not needing those types of entertainments and things like that. Although they're good, the thing about it is that something that's pleasurable only lasts until you're done doing it. If you're playing a game or whatever, once you're done playing the game, you no longer have that experience of playing the game. You're done with it and it's over, and you might even feel regret because you're like, I just wasted time playing that game. I knew I should have been doing something else. And the same thing goes for all different types of pleasure out there. But happiness is only created, or happiness is, it's something that goes beyond the act that produces it. So like, if you are, a lot of times it's something you don't want to do, but sometimes it's something you do want to do. But for example, it's like, should I go work out so that I can keep my body in shape? Or do I want to, just sit on the couch and eat junk food? Well, one's going to be a lot easier and more pleasurable and enjoyable. However, the other one, after you're done working out, you never go back and say, oh, I regretted working out. That was a bad idea. No, you're always going to feel like, oh man, I'm proud of myself. I'm glad I did that. Even though it kind of wasn't pleasant. That's the type of stuff that creates happiness. So keep that in mind when you are conflicted with, I really just want to play this game, or, just one more level 200 times in a row. Or whatever it is that you feel like you want to do rather than what you're procrastinating on or not motivated to do. Remember that, so that when you see those things happening, you can say, yeah, but I actually rather be happy than depressed and get to experience pleasure for a short period of time, So anyhow, that's all I wanted to add to that. And I think that concludes that segment of Don't Worry Wednesday. And so now we are on to the joke. Are you okay with that, Derek?
You're the joke. What are you talking about? Wait, no. I didn't mean it like that.
Nice.
Oh man.
Watch your mouth, Derek.
I'm sorry. No, that was.
I know you thought you were trying to say it's your time for the joke. I was just making sure I wasn't moving too fast, but you totally just called me a joke right in front of all of
our natural reaction at its best.
Yep. There you go. That's the joke. Thanks for helping me out on that one, Derek. Okay, my joke was not even as good as that, anyways. But I'll tell it anyways. What did the popped kernel say to the other unpopped kernel?
Pop.
Nope. He said, No, he didn't say anything because, food doesn't really talk unless it's like animal. But yeah, popcorn doesn't talk. Duh.
I'm gonna leave now.
Okay, goodbye. I'll finish up from here. I'll finish up this one unpopped kernel and make sure it's popped.
Dude, you cannot just eat one popcorn. There's no such thing.
I don't know if I ever have. I have eaten just one chip because they're like, you can't eat just one chip. But I've never been challenged to only eat one popcorn. Now that you've challenged me, I will. Oh. But I've never done it before, I don't think.
Well, all right then.
Welcome to Don't Worry Wednesdays, where at the end I have a less than funny thing for you. Enjoy! Okay, and that's all. Have a beautiful night, everybody, or day, or evening, or lunchtime experience that you are going through right now, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm so awkward.